We're about to have a 30k battle report. Demons versus Ultramarines. This is the table we're going to be playing on. We're going to be playing Shatter Strike, so we have to get infantry units into enemies' deployment zones. And we score victory points for 2 points, I think, for each unit in there. And then we're going to be playing the table quarters for deployment zone. We don't know who's deploying where yet. And we'll get back to you with the armies. Yeah, that one right there. So we'll show you the Demons and the Ultramarines, and then get back to you after we've deployed.
Hey guys, this is the Ultramarine Army. So to start with HQs, I'm going to bring Galman himself. Captain Sicarius is going to be coming in as a Praetor with Paragon Blade, Plasma Pistol, Iron Halo, the normal big build. The guy kneeling in the back is a Centurion going Master of Signal. And then the Apothecary with Power Sword, Artificer Armor. For troops, I'm going to have 2 5-man squads of Terminators with autocannons. 1 sergeant will have a plasma blaster, and there's a few chain fists hiding around in there somewhere. Right behind them, I have a heavy support of 10 missile launchers with flak. Beside them, I have 10 Fulmintaris Terminators, all with power fists except the sergeant, and Cyclone missile launchers. Then 3 quad mortars, just standard frag and shatter, nothing fancy. Then I'm bringing my Hellhammer as the Shadow Sword, the exact same profile tank. And that's my army of Ultramarines.
So here's 3,000 points of Demons. We have 2 units of Plague Bearers, a unit of Bloodletters, and 2 units of Nurglings for troop choices. A unit of 10 Fleshhounds and a unit of 4 Screamers for fast attack. 3 units of Blood Crushers and 1 unit Beast of Nurgle in Elite. And each unit champion in the Blood Crusher unit has Greater Ether Blade. We have in heavy support Demon Prince of Tzeentch with +1 wound, it will not die, reroll invulnerable saves, and a Staff of Change. And then Smite, Endurance, and Life Leech in Biomancy. And then 2 Soul Grinders of Nurgle with Phlegm, and yeah, that's it on them. And then 3 Lords of Change for my HQs. This one here is my Warlord, and him and 3 units will be infiltrating. He has +1 wound, it will not die, reroll invulnerable saves, Staff of Change, Prescience, Bolt of Change, and Firestorm. The one in the middle has +1 wound, it will not die, 4+ Feel No Pain, Staff of Change, Forewarning, Bolt of Change, and Gateway. And this last one here has Armorbane, Fleshbane, 3+ armor save, Staff of Change, Precognition, Bolt of Change, and Firestorm for its psychic powers. And that's 3,000 points of Demons, bringing 12 psychic levels to start. So here's the battlefield for the 3,000 point, I think, mission Shatter Strike. We have to get infantry into each other's deployment zones. So the Ultramarines have the quad mortars deployed over here in this rune, with the super heavy kind of in the middle of his army. A unit of 5 Tartaros, and then Galman and the Fulmintaris. 5 more Tartaros on that flank, and then the missile launcher squad there. And I think he's got the Apothecary and Praetor in there as well, and Master Signals back there in that squad. Then over here, I kind of got pretty lucky with the infiltrating thing, but we'll start over here. We have 3 units of Blood Crushers, all kind of spaced out there, with a unit of Flesh Hounds that still have to do their scout move, just kind of skirting the deployment edge. Screamers down here, Beast and Nurgle, kind of as a second wave. Soul Grinder and Soul Grinder. And then we infiltrated some Nurglings over there. And infiltrated my Warlord, a Demon Prince, and 2 more Lords of Change over here behind this building. They're actually more closer to the table edge here, but they're just sitting there for now. Hopefully get a really good flank crush over here. And then for reserves, I have 1 more unit of Nurglings, 2 units of Plague Bears, and a unit of Bloodletters, just deep striking in. Hopefully get those victory points at the end of the game. Okay, we'll get back to you after Ultramarines' first movement phase, unless I can seize the initiative twice here because of Galman. No, couldn't even do it once. Okay, so we'll get back to you after...
Oh, I'm going to do something mean first.
Ultramarines. So with this mission, we get a special redeploy rule. It's called Fog of War. So the Ultramarines player redeployed their quad mortars over here to try and get a bit more distance from the demons on that flank. And I just didn't bother redeploying anything because I'm still just right on that line, ready to come at him with everything. So we'll get back to you after the Ultramarines turn 1 movement.
Alright, Ultramarine movement phase is done. We had to go back and do a little something halfway through it. All these hounds of scout moved forward in front of my Terminators. Galman and his units just charging right up. Tartaros on the flank, Tartaros on the flank. Hellhammer didn't really move much, just a little bit to the side to get a clear shot at all the nastiness. And these guys are just chilling in the back. Okay, so the shooting phase recap looks a little something like this. Tartaros Terminators shot and took out a few hounds. Other Tartaros Terminators shot and took out a few hounds. Nothing bad. Fulminatars shot and wiped out a whole unit of Blood Crushers. Mortars took out the unit in front of them of the Blood Crushers. Missile launchers shot at the back unit. Only killed the front guy, so that's why the Fulminatars had to finish him off. And then over here, this is the fun one. My Hellhammer Shadow Sword, I don't think that's the right name for it, but I have the rules for it written down. Shot, took out Soul Grinder, and a bunch of the Screamers, and a couple of the Beasts and Nurgle. Other than that, that's my shooting phase. Okay, end of our combat phase. This unit of Tartaros charged into the hounds. Lost 1. Took out the rest though. This unit of Tartaros also charged into the same big unit of hounds. And lost no one and consolidated into the train. And then hounds just got wiped out by their failed morale. And then that's the end of Ultramarines turn 1.
Demons movement phase, moved up, flew with all these HQ choices here, the Demon Prince and the 3 Lords of Change. They got a lot of makeup for all the dead demons on this side. The last Screamer and the Beast moved up over here to try to help these guys on the flank a bit. The Soul Grinder and the last of the Blood Crushers moved up to hopefully take out these Terminators. And that's all I have left on the field, and these Nurglings just shuffled over a bit. But that's all I have left on the field right now until reserves start coming in. So, these guys are all still full wounds and everything, so they should be able to make up for the death of the whole demon army on this side. So, in the demon's own psychic phase, another crushing blow. This demon, Lord of Change, perils casting Bolt of Change. And not only was the spell denied, but he got sucked into the warp too. This Lord of Change killed a few Terminators out of the squad and got forewarning cast on him. He also perils, took a wound, but his It Will Not Die grew it back. And same as this guy. He did a hull point to the Super Heavy and lost wound from perils of the warp, but got it back from It Will Not Die. But he also lost a spell. So we'll go into demon shooting phase. Only got the one shot, so it should be pretty fast.
One shot.
So in a very brief shooting phase, the Soul Grinder shot over here, killed one missile launcher, and took one of the quad mortars out. And now we're going to do the one assault I got in over here. The Screamer also turbo boosted over here in the shooting phase. And the Lords of Change are going to run a little bit. So in the only assault phase, my Blood Crusher champion killed the Sergeant in the Terminator squad. And then I couldn't kill any more Terminators, and the Terminators couldn't kill any of my guys. And they passed their morale check, so now we're sitting there like that. So going to Ultramarines turn 2.
Alright, Ultramarines turn 2, the movement phase. I've had Galman split off, and he's going to try and go take out the Soul Grinder by himself if he can. My full strength Tartaros squad is going to try and come over here and help out the underpowered one. And then I got my full Mentaurus have turned around to try and shoot these guys out of the sky, but it's going to be hard to do because they're flying. Hellhammer's moved over to get line of sight on Beasts of Nurgle. Then I got my leftover crew from the one dead quad mortar. It's going to try and sneak into the deployment zone of the enemy. And then these guys stayed still because they're heavy and I want to shoot them. That's the end of movement phase. Recap for the Ultramarines shooting phase. Nothing really happened over here because combats and can't really hurt it. Big take. Put a shot into Beast of Nurgle. One left now, because I took out the other two with instant death. Then he shot his Sponson Bolter Las Cannon. Took out the Screamer that was over here trying to get behind me. And then all the shooting of the full Mentaurus. All the shooting of these guys with flak missiles. And these guys did one wound to him. He went 14 out of 15 with his re-rolling invulnerable saves. But he is grounded, so I'm going to try and make a charge. And that's it for Ultramarines shooting phase. Alright, I'm back again. Charges. Full strength Terminator squad made it into the Blood Crushers. Galman made it in with that guy. Hopefully going to tear him apart. And sadly, failed this long bomb 10-inch charge with a 7. So he's on the ground now, ready to wreak havoc. Alright, we'll be back with combat res in a minute. So end of that combat phase. My Terminators were able to take out the last of the Blood Crushers. I lost my Sergeant in a challenge again in this unit, so there's no Sergeants left. And this unit also took one wound. These guys consolidated towards the Nurgle. Just those Nurglings. These guys are just going towards the enemy deployment zone. Got him in can opener with his big power fist against the Soul Grinder. And this is where we're at right now for the table.
So Demon movement phase turn 2. Plague Bears came in and deep struck there. Same as these Nurglings. Still have 2 units still in reserve. Both of these guys came down from the sky, so hopefully in the next couple turns start doing something back here. And this guy who got shot out of the sky last turn is going to try and charge these missile launchers. And this beast just moved behind that building to try and get some cover and hopefully just survive another turn. Then these Nurglings are going to go for it and win all the glory and kill 2 Terminators. So, we're going to Demons turn 2 Psychic phase. Only got 5 models or only Plague Bears left on the field. So, in the Psychic phase, I got Endurance off the Demon Prince to try and keep him alive from the instant death over there. This guy cast a beam at them, but it was denied. This guy cast the Gateway spell and killed 3 Terminators, but he also perils and took a wound. So we'll get into a very minor shooting and close combat phase. So unfortunately, the Warp Storm for this turn is -1 invulnerable save for all my demons, but this Lord of Change made it into the combat there. And those Nurglings decided to go for it and charge them. So we'll do those 2 fights and get back to you. So in the combat phase, over here the Terminators killed the 2 Nurglings. They did a few wounds, but they saved all their saves, unfortunately. Over here, they did 1 wound to the Lord of Change, and the Lord of Change killed the Sarge plus 2 more guys, but they held for their check. So we'll go into Ultramarines turn 3.
Alright, Ultramarines turn 3, movement phase is done. Terminators are definitely in enemy deployment zone, but the Reaper autocannon still has good range to shoot back. Galman's doing a 180 now that there's stuff to kill on the ground, and he's got nothing left, so he's going to probably run in the shooting phase. Terminators are coming back in. These Marines without their cannon anymore are just going to try and sneakily, without dying, make it to the enemy deployment zone. Fomentars, Praetor, Apothecary are going to go in there and help and try and kill that Lord of Change. Combat still combat. Didn't move for good shooting. And the big tank did a little drift around to get over there to shoot at these guys that are finally on the ground. End of Ultramarines movement phase. Alright, Ultramarines shooting phase. Reaper autocannon shot. Galman ran. Terminator's Reaper autocannon shot again. I'll get to what they did at in a second. Those 2 little guys ran. All the way over to here. There's a Lord of Change missing because I shot everything at him. From the mortars to the Reaper autocannons. To my big tank. And that's it. Just killed the 1 Lord of Change. Nothing else happened. Getting ready to do charges and combat. Be right back. End of Ultramarines combat phase. The Praetor got the lucky Paragon Blade instant death on the Lord of Change, and we consolidated out. Other than that, nothing changed. We're getting down to the wire. And going into Demons turn 3.
So, Demons turn 3. Demon Prince just came over here to attack the tank. Bloodletters came in and deep struck hit. These guys just moved 5 inches towards the tank. And this Beast of Nurgle came out of hiding to try and get these Terminators on my deployment zone. A lot of very uphill fights here with not too much left. Already on the third turn. Get back to you after a probably combined shooting, psychic, and combat. The only spell I got off was Endurance on the Demon Prince. But the Demon Prince and the Plague Bears both made their charge into the tank. Hopefully kill it. And the Beast of Nurgle made his charge over here. So the Demon Prince really let me down. Only did 1 glancing hit to the tank. Plague Bears came through for me though, and I think did 4. So the tank's only down to 3 hull points, but big fail on my part. Going to Ultramarines turn 4.
forgot combat.
And we still have this combat to do. So we'll let you know how that goes, probably with the Beast and Nurgle dying. And in this combat, he did 2 wounds to the Beast, and I did 1 wound in return. I passed my instability check. It will continue. So Ultramarines turn 4.
Alright. Ultramarine movement phase. The crew are still running for the score of the points. Tank reversed out of his little mosh pit. Galman's still running for it to get into a fight. Small unit of Tartaros are still moving it to get into a fight. Fulmentaris with the Praetor and the Apothecary are going after the Demon Prince. And we forgot to run these bloodletters, but we went back, fixed it so they'd spread out and not get wrecked by a large blast. Ultramarine shooting phase coming up next.
So Ultramarines turn 4. The Fulmentaris shot all those Cyclones at the Demon Prince and killed it. The Super Heavy killed 8 Plague Bears and 3 Bloodletters. And the Beast and Nurgle died in combat over there. Going into turn 4 for the Demons, the only thing I have left in reserve is 10 Plague Bears. So I think between 7 Bloodletters, 12 Plague Bears, and 3 Nurglings, I don't think that there's much I can do about that. So, turn 4 for the Demons, it's going to get called. Ultramarines win. I think they pretty much got every secondary objective and a whole lot of victory points from those guys being in my deployment zone. So that was Ultramarines versus Demons.